All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Can Truman Make a Feature podcast. Today is Halloween, October 31st. We are about to jump into our 3 month, from deadline situation, which more on that to come. I've got interview with Roberto coming up, that hopefully we have time for the whole thing, but we talked for 45 minutes. So, and then afterwards, we hopped on another call and kept talking. Sadly, I didn't record that conversation. The Zoom meeting ran out. And also, it was getting a little ahead of ourselves. We were chatting about the movie and conversations that we're going to get to probably in a month or so. And so I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. I wanted to start by giving a shout out, let's start by giving an overview of what all we're going to talk about. I went to Austin Film Festival, have a lot to talk about there. We opened the crowdfunding campaign, so please, 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 think about donating to that. Um, I really hope that people who are listening to this are interested in the project and want to help out. And there are of course more ways to donate than just money, but again, we'll get into that. So we'll chat about that. And the first 3 days to a week of the crowdfunding campaign, which I believe today is day 7. It's been a whirlwind of ideas and thoughts. Then we had our first major hiccup, so I'll talk about that. And then I will, yeah, I think that's everything. I'm making a little note to myself right now. Um, and yeah, let's jump into the shout outs. So, shout out number one is the Seed and Spark for a short film called I.O. I met this guy in line. It's his first time directing. Super nice guy, and he also had a script that placed at Austin Film Festival. So this guy's legit. His script's good. Super nice guy, and the project looks very interesting. I will link it below, and you can check it out for yourself. And then the other one, also from another person who placed at Austin Film Festival. I believe she was a second rounder for a comedy pilot. Her name's Kate, and she was very nice, and we chatted a lot. And she's doing a really, really interesting podcast deep dive into Judaism of maybe her roots or something. I watched the video, but I only know so much. Um, and yeah, it looks very, very good. And yeah, check out both of those crowdfunding campaigns in the description below, as well as the crowdfunding campaign for Tonality and Totality. So yeah, let's jump into the crowdfunding and chat about that. And again, I have some notes that I've made to look at. So day one, I launched day one of Austin Film Festival, and I think that was a bold move, and we'll talk more about that as well. But day one, I sent, I believe, 60 emails, 60 total emails. I launched the campaign at 8 a.m. Sat by my computer, emailing, emailing, emailing. I emailed everyone who had ever worked on a short film with me, pretty much, in college. I emailed old friends from high school. I had a list that I had made 2 or 3 days earlier of everyone I planned on contacting, and I was just checking them off the list, checking them off the list. And yeah, first off, immediate gut reaction is how humiliating it was, especially asking all of these people who have already helped me out on a short film before, to ask them for more help, especially in the form of money, was lame and it sucked and I really didn't like it. And it felt ingenuine, even though for each person, I made sure to add a personalized note at the beginning and share and just check in. But then also, I I found myself, you know, by making this first paragraph of like, what has this person been doing? I've been like, man, I should have done a better job keeping in touch with these people, and I should have been following their work more closely because, yeah, I realized I do want to know about, their short film that they had worked on that I knew about, or this or that and the other, and things like that. Yeah, I hope they all email back and answer the questions I had about all of their work and what they've been working on. But it was a slow start, and I was sitting there waiting, and I was like, when's the first donation? What's the first donation? When's the first donation? Because I was like, damn, I probably wouldn't want to be the first one to donate either. And Seed and Spark talks a lot about how people are more likely to donate when they see that there's momentum and things like that. So it's yeah, very, very scary. And it's, immediately after I pressed the launch button, I was freaking out. I intentionally did not post it on any of my socials yet. However, what I did do was I posted my previous short film at Star Students. And I put the link in the bio or the description of that short film, the crowdfunding link to this short film. So hopefully that funneled people. But then again, it's also hard enough to get people to want to watch your short film, let alone give you money. So there's that. And I don't think that worked all that well, but I put that out there to get the ball rolling rather than posting the crowdfunding campaign right away. So then we jump to day two, right? And Seed and Spark really, really tries to emphasize that the the first 3 days are the most important, and you need to hit 30% in the first 3 days to show that you have that momentum and have those people going. We started getting our first couple of responses, end of day one into day two, and even the people that just responded, "This looks cool," or like or whatever, it warmed my heart that they didn't just open it and leave it on red. It made me feel less like I was being a nuisance to them, and a lot of my notes are, hope this isn't a nuisance, hope this isn't crazy. Um, and yeah, there were a lot of people who I was really surprised donated. And I, was just very, very honored that they were interested in giving me $10, 20, whatever they were giving. I was just like, holy shit, these people are interested. That makes me very happy that they're even interested in what I'm working on or that they're excited to support me. But then there were also some real surprises of some people that I really expected, not that I am entitled to anything or that I mean, I know I used the word expected, but I guess predicted may be the better word, but not that I feel they should have or anything like that, but people who had said before that they wanted to support me in this way or things like that or had expressed interest in it before leaving me on red or not opening the text or what have you, or, just not responding. There were definitely a lot of surprises there. So that was super weird to get the, both positive and negative end of all that. You know, and so anyway, um, yeah, it was again more heartwarming than heart chilling, I guess. A lot of heartwarming moments, but a few just like, huh, weird. Okay. And I really, really got scared because I'm out watching movies all day, going to panels at Austin Film Festival, and I'm going to parties at Austin Film Festival. I'm busy, busy, busy. Really, there was no downtime at all at Austin Film Festival. And the only downtime I had was when I would be waiting in line for the next movie or panel. So while I'm waiting in line, I'm trying to network with the person next to me while also I'm trying to text more people and add. And, definitely my numbers are slowing down as far as how many people I'm reaching out to. But I think day one, I hit about 60 people up. And then day two, I probably added 20 on top of that. And day three, I think I added 20 more, and I kept sticking to about 10 to 20 each day. And I was also networking with a lot of people and sending people my link at Austin Film Festival and showing them that and things like that. So that was super cool. Um, but yeah, I don't have as much time as I probably should to be emailing people directly and letting them know about everything. And so, yeah, that was weird and maybe a bad idea, but I also wanted something to show of it at Austin Film Festival. I thought maybe I would end up running into a big agent or manager or someone like that. But no, in a good way and bad way, I only ran into other people who were in the same place as me. So it was really cool that most of the other people I met also had volunteered for their badge or what have you. And they all just wanted to be creatives. And then other people were, one or two steps above me in that, they had a something showing at the festival or, a script in competition. So that was super cool to meet all these people that were doing well in that regard. And yeah, I very cool, very awesome experience. But yeah, I wanted it to be up so that when I met a manager, which never ended up happening, they would be like, "Oh man, cool. I'm gonna go, rep this guy or whatever." I don't know. Or maybe they'd be like, "Hey, take that shit down right now. I'm giving you the money. Let's make this movie." The dreams you have of your film festival, I guess it's not real. So, I'm gonna pull out my phone to look. I probably should have had this pulled up a little faster. So sorry about that. But I then on day two decided to send a pep talk text to my group of four so far that are on this film working actively to get it. And I didn't know whether they had sent anyone the link at all, which was scary. And I didn't know if they realized, what we were doing or how much important this was. So I was really like, hey, I've been emailing and I've gotten us to X amount of dollars, right? Can we get y'all to help as well? Because if we all get it, then we'll get that 30%, right? And then the rest will come easier. But if we don't all get it, I can only get us to, maybe 20% or so. Which it ended up turning out that I can get us to 18%. Um, and then sorry, not to discredit, I'm sure a couple of those donations were from helps from these people. So sorry, I yeah. Um anyway, but again, I don't know. They haven't responded and told me how many people they've emailed, so I could be so wrong and they turn, but I believe I can link who all I texted and who all donated. So the text I sent was I just want to shout out that we've officially raised $442 from my grandparents. Hooray! But we are still a long way off from our first 3 day goal. Stats say that 80% of films that don't raise 30% of their goal in the first 3 to 7 days fail. Again, the majority of what we are raising is to pay and feed y'all. So far, I have emailed and texted about 55 plus people, as well as networking like crazy at AFF. Please consider who you can email or text directly and be aware that we don't just need money. Even follows and engagement go a long way. Thanks again for being involved in this journey with me either way. And once we hit that 30%, it will hopefully get easier. And then I'll save the next text for when we get there. Um, Now day three, we've got some people doing loans. Specifically, my grandma is now cooking us 3 meals. She's also going to have her other friend cook us a meal. So now we have 4 meals covered, valued at $100 a meal. So we have $400 there. So that's cool. And also at day three, I started getting freaked out and I was like, okay, we really need to get there. What we're going to do is we are going to have my mom and dad who are, donating the house, but that's not what I was hopefully crowdfunding for. But they are going to be donating the house for us to shoot in, right? I decided to have them put a loan so that I could value it at $1,000 so that it would look that we had more momentum and then we had more money raised so that then other people stumbling upon it would be like, oh, okay, they definitely have raised some money. So hopefully it momentum wise stacks on. I will say I loved the loans from my grandma, my sister, and a couple other people are all like, "Hey, I have a tapestry up in my house. Would you like to look at that?" Or I have some philosophy books we can check out. And I was like, "Oh my God." And it was really nice and personal the way that they were donating, and it really, really made me feel great. And it was like, well, maybe all we need is loans, right? Maybe my, $5,000 that I have, saved up, which hopefully will, by the time we start shooting, be a lot more than $5,000. Maybe that just needs to cover, paying people, and all of these loans will be our camera equipment. All of these loans will be our, everything. Or our set decoration and everything like that. So that's super cool. Um, and then, I also started reaching out to a couple musician friends of mine to hopefully make some more music. I know we still have Knee Kebabs, and he's actively working on his thing, and I'm very excited. But I started reaching out to some other people, and they sent me their music catalogs and what to check out and all that. So I'm super excited about that. And at that point in time, I stopped feeling as much humiliated by all the people I'm reaching out to, even though I still do a little bit, and it's still like, fuck, should I really be emailing or texting this person when, maybe they're not in a financial place where they should be giving $10 to some silly movie, right? Maybe that's lame of me to be asking these people who probably shouldn't be giving $10, but who knows? Maybe they want to have their $10. And I also thought through of like, I think in the past I've been a little bit miserly about donating to my friends' crowdfunding campaigns, which to be fair, um, at the time, the most crowdfunding campaigns I would always see were when I was still in school. um, and I was trying to save up my money to make my own movie. And so it felt very much like a network of everyone passing around $10. But yeah, I was typically very miserly, and I realized more and more that I was like, man, my $10, and since then I have donated to a couple of my buddies' crowdfunding campaigns. My $10, from now on, I'm very glad if they end up going to a crowdfunding campaign. Because if, my $20, instead of buying me a really nice Whataburger run or what have you, go to someone making more content in the world, um, I'm gonna start doing a better job of, you know, supporting all my friends' crowdfunding campaigns from now on. And maybe that was the empathy boost that I needed. You know, what's the white guys do shrooms once and then try and explain you basic empathy. Yeah. Truman launches one crowdfunding campaign once and learns basic empathy. Um, but yeah, so it ended up, yeah, feeling like I was reconnecting with old friends. The more and more people started reaching back out and answering me and just being like, "Hey, I'm earnestly really glad you sent this to me. I really wanted to, see what you're working on." And a lot of those people were like, "Hey, I don't have any money, but I'm so glad you sent this to me." Um, and that was super cool. I started doing I made a TikTok, which didn't get any engagement as far as people actually going and donating, which they say it has a 3% success rate. I got 500 views, I believe, and zero donations. So I had a 0% success rate, but I did get, I think, 3 comments, 4 comments. So that was cool and a couple of likes. So excellent. And I'm gonna keep making TikToks about it. I'll probably make a TikTok today about my Halloween costume. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. It's pretty cool. I'm very excited. I made it myself. Not that it's all that, fancy or whatever. Um, so that's the bulk of what I wanted to talk about. But as we're getting to the, crowdfunding, state where we're at, I, started freaking out. And I was like, okay, so let's honestly and knock on wood really think about what's it going to be like if this crowdfunding campaign doesn't work, right? What's nice is everybody gets their money back, right? It's not like Kickstarter keeps the money or anything like that. Or sorry, Seed and Spark keeps the money or anything like that. Everyone just keeps their money unless they donated some extra money to Seed and Spark. Um, so that's nice. I don't have to worry about people being like, "Hey, I gave you that money and now it's not going anywhere." Um, I do kind of lose the money, but I also keep the loans, which is cool, which is kind of the more important thing. And I was like, "All right, can I pare down the crew even more to, think about that? Who all's going to show up if I'm not paying anybody anything? Can we make it work like that? Is that going to be okay?" Right? And so I made a minimum budget to kind of ease what I'm scared about. Um and I just added it up today. It looks like our minimum budget comes in at $6,400, which again, luckily I have 5,000 of my own money right now ready to go. Um and so now it's just a question of, okay, how many people are willing to work for free? And then also, how many people can I, you know, uh, how many people are the smallest amount that the crew can be? And then if I have this $5,000 or have that $6,000, once I get that, right, how many times can I just get $500 to pay off one person, right? And again, that's not good wages. That's like, just cover bare minimum, not even cover rent, things like that. Ideally, I want to pay everyone about $1,000 to be on the set to cover their, uh, you know, everything. But again, I don't think that's realistic. So once we get that $6,000, right? Maybe even once we get that $7,000 or eight, right? So that I could get some slightly nicer camera and lighting equipment and things like that. Once we get that, how many times can I just pay for one crew member? How many times can I pay for one crew member? And that would be great to figure that out. And so maybe that's all we needed. And maybe I just keep finding people to pay us in one meal, again, valued at $100. If I could do that enough, we have $2,000 just allocated to feeding people. If I get that covered, then I can divide up those $2,000 between whatever crew I have and pay them, right? And that would be helpful. But we'll see. So the minimum budget is gonna be not shot on an awesome camera. I mean, not that my camera is Very amazing. I'm very, very happy that I have it. A lot of people would kill for my camera. I've got a Sony A7. The basic lens I don't think will work. We need to shoot telephoto for what we're doing, so we would need to rent a lens. We would rent pedals. We still need to buy a guitar, but I think I can find a guitar on Facebook Marketplace for $200 or less that looks like a guitar that's $1,000 or more, right? Type of thing. Or at least, $500 or more. I'm gonna take the headphones off. It's getting irritating. Sorry. Um, so yeah, it's all those things, and the more you loan, or maybe someone wants to donate their lens. Boom. Now I don't have to worry about the lens rental, things like that. And then maybe if I attack what I need, then the money that I have can go towards paying people, which would be nice. Um, and then I decided that maybe our better bet than the crowdfunding campaign is fundraisers. So I reached out to a local movie theater about possibly showing a movie and doing like a Q&A for the Kickstarter and things like that, or maybe even me doing a live score. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments, and I'll let you know about us doing that. And then I reached out to a local venue that I've worked with a couple times before, and maybe about throwing a concert would be cool. So maybe that would work, and things like that. So yeah, hopefully the fundraisers is a cool idea. We Matthew and Gabe want to make promotional videos, so I'm excited to possibly work on that. I'm hoping to shoot that this week, or at least one of them this week. And yeah, um, so moving towards fundraisers would be cool. And then here's the big hiccup that I kind of teased. So we'll talk about that for a second. The big hiccup is that the shoot dates moved. My dad texted me that the tenants are not moving out the date that we expected them on February 1st. They're now moving out January 1st, so the shoot has to move up. Dad talked, and we just sat down and discussed, and we're going to move it up to January 20th. So we cut ourselves short by a couple days, but we're not as bad off as I thought we were. And the other thing that's kind of nice is that, based on the way rents due at the end of the month type of thing, if they're starting after they've already had a small amount of the month to make their money and possibly take care of rent for that month, then, the next month we're just ending on February 10th. Maybe that sort of timeline is actually better for people as far as taking care of bills. And so that would be cool. And then also we got a couple extra days out of it. I think we went from a 19-day maximum shoot time to a 20-day maximum shoot time. Or maybe a 22-day. We'll have to look at it. So that's nice that we have a couple extra days to play around with. Maybe that gets people a day off, which would be really exciting. And anyway, yeah, I have another pep talk text after I got the shoot dates moved. Um, so good news, bad news, pep talk. Shoot dates are moving up. Not sure by how much, but they are. We have raised $1,600. Fuck yes. We are still under our first 3-day goal, so we gotta be on the ball to get it for day 7. Please, please think about who you can email. I want to pay y'all. Please help me. Even just follows on the campaign, then Seed and Spark will advertise for us. Other than that, Matt and Gabe, get ready because it's about to be nut or shut up time because we may have lost 30 days of pre-pro. Um, so yeah, and I talked to Matt and Gabe, gave them a rundown of what's to come. So I went and I made a to-do list document and put due dates for everything was another big thing. I can share that with you all right now. Um, so we can look at that and just see what's going on. To-do list, and I made it color coded. Pick up the phone and start dialing for the crowdfunding. And I made a dial tally for everybody. And then I've got to make a list of local pedal companies, which I'm already working on. And then, that moves to, calling the pedal companies down here. And then we've got to make a casting flyer, but we needed to wait for shoot dates, which luckily we now have. So I will delete that. So Matthew can work on that. And ideally, basically, people will highlight their title of what they're gonna take care of doing. And then they'll say what date they did it in progress, what date they finished it, and put some notes about what they're doing. I need to make a new script graph. We need to make the telethon video and the fake tonality and totality production or um guitar company video and all of that. And then I also went ahead and I decided to calculate if the goal is still $10,000, how much money per day for the 60-day campaign do I need to be making to reach that goal? And the answer I found was $166 per day, which we are ahead of that. However, it's the most momentum is going to be at the beginning, and then the momentum is going to slow, and so we need to get people energized and get people excited and wanting to donate. But um, at AFF, I ended up talking to someone who gave me a real scary conversation, and I really was. It definitely made me angry. Not angry at the person, but just angry at the world. And this person was being very, very helpful, but very direct and scary. And she was saying that, yeah, if you don't hit that 30-day goal, you might as well just let the campaign expire. You're fucked. Which really, and she didn't say we're fucked. She was very polite but direct. And yeah, that was super, super scary. And I was like, so okay, so then how did you do it? How did you do your campaign? And she was like, well, I've had a lot of clients that, gave me $500 like it's candy. And I was like, okay, so I guess you just have to have the fucking rich connections, maybe, which not that I don't know anybody. I'm definitely fortunate to have a lot of very, um, great connections and people who are doing well for themselves connections, but I certainly don't have a list of, execs who all just, whatever, my buddy wants $500, who cares? Whatever, let's, let him have it type of thing. So okay, maybe I just need $1,000 people. Um, let's look and see what else I wanted to talk about before we get going. Because I don't think there's too much more that I haven't hit. Yeah, so a little bit more about AFF. It was just really fabulous to meet so many people. I wish there were more locals there, but I met a couple of locals, and that was exciting. And yeah, AFF does a great job. They're incredible. They host a lot of great screenings, and there were a lot of panels that energized me, a couple of panels that just were big bummers. Not that the people were wrong, but there were a lot of panels that were like, the industry's changing and the industry sucks now, and why would you don't want to be joining the industry as it is right now. And it's like, well, fuck, dude. Okay. I was really hoping I'd walk away from this all pumped to, get on this shit, but whatever. Um and yeah, I guess the last thing to talk about before we close with Roberto's interview, which I don't know how long I've been going on. It seems like I've been going on for at least 30 minutes, and I really want these episodes to get shorter, but there's just so much to talk about. And not to sound melodramatic, but I'm really worried about the dedication, right? And really worried about finding people that want to do this, right? And I guess the sort of thing I've coined is that I want to find people who would work and do this for free, and then I want to pay them, right? I want people who are ready to be where I'm at, of like, this is all I care about right now. Not to again be melodramatic, and I hope that I don't look back on this podcast episode and, roll my eyes about everything. But yeah, it's again, I was self-sufficient, and I decided to give up being self-sufficient and move in with my parents instead to focus on this, because this is the thing. I need to make movies. I need to write. I need to do this thing. It makes me sad when I'm not doing this kind of creative work. And it makes me feel like I don't have a purpose. And so this is the thing, and I want to find other people who are there with me, of like, this is what I want to do. This is all I care about. And when in reaching out to people and looking for people to, help with this film, a lot of people have kind of shared that they're there. And it oh my God, it warms my heart and gets me jazzed. Then there are other people, who aren't there, which I also respect. I have nothing but respect for people who are wanting to make money right now because they want to make money, and they're done working on, cheapo short films, and, done working on their friends' shit for free, because at this point they want to start making money. But I, I I just don't think this is that. And I was talking to uh my mentor, Sean Gallagher, my old high school film teacher, and I was just like, dude, what is it? And he said that John Pierre Melville says that the first feature film that a filmmaker makes should be made in their own blood. And he was like, I don't know of any of my friends' first features where they paid people, shot less than 12-hour days, and had breaks. He was like, if those are your goals, or if those are what people need to be involved in this, then maybe they should find something else. And of course, there's a spectrum as well. Some people wanted a little bit of that. Some people wanted it but don't need it, and things like that. But it was also just, it's scary. I probably can't pay people, honestly. I'm working towards it, and I'm really hoping to take care of something for people, but it probably is going to start and end with me taking care of their housing and their what's it called? Their food. And that might be that, right? And that sucks. But it's a thing of like, I'm thinking back to, like, if I were to have gotten the call that I'm calling people with, what would I have said? Right? The honest truth is, I probably would have said, "Hey man, I've got to pay rent. I would love to do this, but I need to pay rent. How am I going to pay rent this month if I go and work on your film, right?" And I'm even trying to take this to the extreme of like PA, right? If one of my friends was like, "I want you to PA." Now, as of right now, we're with where I'm at. If one of my friends said they were working on a feature in Boulder, Colorado, or wherever, or, New York, or in Mexico, shit, man, I would go, "All right, tell me when and where. I'm packing up my bags. I'm leaving. Can you feed me? Can you make sure I, have a place to live? I'm there, I would definitely do this because that's just where I'm at and what I want to do. I want to make movies, and I don't know. It's the question of, if people need to have their bills taken care of, I get it, and I want to do that for them. And I understand them saying, "Hey, I'd love to do this thing, but I can't do it if I don't have a place to live." But as it goes farther and farther towards, I want to do this and I want to make money, maybe this isn't the place for you. Not in a way of like fuck you or anything like that. Everyone that's going to work on this project is worth probably $4,000, if not more, for the whole project. Um, Everyone is worth so much, and everyone's going to give me so much. I know that. And it's, a big deal. But I just can't do that. Sadly, that's not where I'm at. And, if that means, we can't do it the way we want to do it, sucks. We'll have to do the $7,000 method, right? But yeah, this is the thing I want to do, and I would have made a lot of sacrifices, and I hope to find the people that are also there, and I hope to find the money to pay the people that need it, and to find the money that need just a little bit of money. That's, I guess, where I'll leave this episode. I'm gonna cut to the Roberto interview and say, please like, comment, and subscribe on the crowdfunding campaign. If you're not gonna donate anything, that's cool. We need to make it look like we have a whole bunch of buzz, right? So go and follow our thing. I promise I'm not gonna spam you. I think I'm gonna do like a once a week email blast thing if you follow it. Like nothing crazy. So please, and thank you for listening. Thank you for checking it out. Here's the Roberto interview, which I'll probably have to edit down just a little bit. And I know we said a couple of things that we didn't want on air, just about, personal situations. So, yeah, enjoy the Roberto interview. The tale of two DPs continues. And I will see you next week. All right. Last week we talked to Michael, and this week we are going to get to hear from Roberto. So hopefully y'all enjoy the conversation. And hopefully we get the happy response that I'm expecting to get from Roberto, but we will see. And in the TikTok version of the Can Trim and Make a Feature podcast, the abridged version, there is also a deleted scene from last week's podcast. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. Because there's something I didn't talk about that's kind of cool. Oh, and here's Roberto.
Um, is part of this recording like video or is it just audio?
There is a video, but you don't have to be on the video if you don't want. The only person who's been on video so far is Michael.
Okay. I mean, I'm in my messy room looking at gears, so
I mean, I don't know if my room looks any less messy, but I did strategically shoot it next to my little DVD thing,
yeah,
so that
yeah.
hopefully it looks like I'm a cool guy who knows about movies.
It does, and
Does
the
it?
Xbox is right there.
How are you?
Um, good, good. I mean, like, you know, good that like peaks and valleys, strikes and gutters. It's happening, but it's like also like other annoying things, but like such is life, getting
Yeah,
through it.
I got my first paycheck from working at a Stage Alliance gig.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. They seem
Nice.
to really like me, so I was really glad
Yeah?
about that. Yeah, I think so.
Nice. Nice.
Um,
I'm
yeah,
glad.
I helped set up for MJ the musical.
MJ the musical. I'm not sure what that is. What
It's
would you
about
do? Did you
Michael
do like
Jackson. Pusher.
oh, that MJ. Uh, did you
Just
do like
Pusher.
Lycos or what
Just Pusher.
oh, sick, sick.
It was great. I love pushing.
Yeah, no,
It's
you
like
just
one of
brain
my
off and you just push it when they're like, push this box here, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, dude. I kind of love it because they're all on wheelie carts, and so you can just, pretend like you're skateboarding.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't do a kickflip on one of them, but
Someone dared me to, and I luckily didn't because it was a huge thing, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I can't even do a kickflip on a real skateboard. I've
yeah,
always wanted to be able to do an ollie, and I still
yeah.
can't.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do is anytime that there's like like a dolly, like the wooden dollies that like the that's on the floor, like they're like 2 inches off the ground. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm
Um,
talking about. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I every single time I see someone, I'm like, oh, you should do an ollie. One
Oh,
time
nice.
it was
Great bit.
it was a great bit. It was a concert at Coda,
Okay.
the F1 track in Austin. And for the listeners at home who don't know Coda is, and I was working there setting up a some sort of concert. I forget who it was, but then this was like just when I was getting into this type of stuff, and so it was like bottom of the barrel labor.
Yeah.
Um, like I found like we were working at the Moody Center, the new one that they built instead of the Flan building.
Okay.
Um, and me and one of my friends were like walking around, and this dude's backpack was just like sprawled out on the floor, and there was just like a crack pipe like just sitting in the dude's backpack. Anyway, that's the tier of labor we got here. And so I was asking one of these people, and I was like, I saw a dolly on the floor, and I was like, hey, can you do a kickflip on that one of those? I was like, oh, absolutely. Whenever did a kickflip on it, just busted his face open on the floor.
Oh my God, dude. Holy shit. Do they give workers comp for that level of like incompetence? Or is there like a, hey, no one asked you to do that. Like, maybe you shouldn't have fucking done that.
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah,
They were definitely filling out paperwork. I'm not exactly sure what paperwork because as soon as that happened, I was like, "Oh, I am not gonna be here, and I'm
right.
gonna push these boxes in this other place."
So, to catch you up on the podcast, part of what I've been talking about in the podcast, a small part, but has been a part, is I'm calling it the tale of two DPs. Um,
Okay.
which is, you know, the debate between you and Michael, and more that I knew you were all gung ho on it, and I just didn't know where Michael is, and I
Right.
definitely needed to reach out to both of y'all,
Yeah.
because both of y'all are the man. And basically, it's the balance of
Amen.
you were super, super gung ho on it, at least from when you were talking to me. You have the energy and the passion for this project.
Yeah.
Whereas Michael has more of the specific experience and has worked with me more recently, and you're more starting on your DP journey. Which,
Sure.
by the way, I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, because I realized I never texted you back when you sent me your music video. Your music
Yeah.
video looks awesome. It looks
Yeah,
really, really
thanks.
sick. And
Thanks.
definitely
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, ease some of my worries about like, well, Roberto's only done American Therapy, you know, like
Okay, but American
watching
Therapy looks sick as fuck too.
I know American Therapy looks fucking great. And so
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not. Damn, I'm working myself into a hole here. I hope I hope we're still buddies after all
Yeah, no,
this.
of course, of course. No, I get
Um,
you. It's hard to trust myself too.
but no, I have zero lack of trust that you can execute this perfectly. I hope you know that sincerely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really do believe that you can do this, and I'm
Awesome.
very excited to work with you.
Yeah. Well,
And
I love a
so
challenge, so.
yeah, right now it's right now, Michael yesterday said, and he quoted me 5 out of 10 likely he wants to work on this. I think he's just being nice. I don't think
Hmm.
that that's actually how likely it is. So
You
I
think
am
it's
personally,
unlikely?
he just moved to New York, which by the way, I'm going to send you his contact info. And if you
Yeah.
wanted to go meet up with him for coffee or something, he
Yeah.
is the sweetest guy, like
Yeah.
literally the sweetest guy. And yeah, he's just trying to get his foot in the door in New York.
He's a
And I
DP?
told him he's a like freakishly talented DP,
Sick.
like
Okay.
really, really good. Um, so anyway, he just moved to New York and of course is paying New York apartment prices.
Gotta love it.
Um and so yeah,
And has no income, I assume.
Yeah, I don't think he has a job yet officially. I
Love
think
that.
he's doing
Love
some
that.
freelance stuff, but yeah,
Yeah, but
he's
we're all doing freelance stuff.
right. So, he's probably he was being very kind and saying he really wanted to work on this and wanted to
But
make it
he needs
work.
money.
But yeah, I kind of was like, "Hey dude, before you say you're liking this, I don't think you realize what I'm asking. I'm asking you to be gone for the whole month of February, and I might not pay you." And so, yeah, we kind of got to the point where most likely for him I would need to either he needs to, pick up his gigs like crazy and start saving up, or I would need to crowdfund enough to
Pay him
pay his rent for February and maybe even travel costs to get down here, which is not completely unrealistic, but
money.
yeah, money's money. And I don't know where we're at. There's a very good chance we're not at that place, but there's also a very good chance we are at that place. So anyway,
Yeah. Who knows?
based based on my understanding of everything that's going on, my assumption of how likely it is that I can pay Michael's rent, my assumption of how likely it is that Michael's willing to come out here, and my assumption of how likely it is that you're on board and ready to go and all that is I'm giving you probably 65% odds that you're the DP on this.
Okay.
So I hope that's good news and I hope
Yeah.
you're
I
excited about that.
am.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, again, we're gonna at some point I'm gonna just sit down with both of y'all to make the official final call because I want to make sure that it's cool with both of y'all because again, both of y'all are my good friends and have helped me out with so many awesome films. And
Sure.
so
Yeah.
I don't want to actually officially what's it called? Make a decision without consulting both of y'all in the same room to make sure
Hmm.
it works with everybody and everybody's happy.
Hmm.
Um, I did post in the Discord that you were officially attached. I hope that's not incorrect.
No, it's not incorrect.
Okay, word, word. Because yeah, if whether or not, which most likely right now it sounds like you are the DP, but even if you're not on the DP, I definitely desperately want you on the cam team, either as first or second AC,
Yeah.
whatever your preference is and whatever ends up working out best.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
in tandem with
Um,
that, the
yeah.
crowdfunding campaign is live. And so
Wow.
I can text you that link if you're interested. And if you
Sure.
want to promote it yourself, that would be awesome. If not, no
Yeah.
worries. I get it.
I'll promote it
And
whenever I'm officially a person.
well, if you officially want to be a person, I can list you right now, put a bio and everything on there with Roberto as cam team. Um, but
Canteen.
But
Yeah.
yeah, since it's
Yeah.
still up in the air, but I also get if you don't want to do that.
Yeah. Honestly, let's keep it like let's not do that just now.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I also had a friend ask me if I wanted to do something in February, and I said, "Oh, I might be busy."
Ooh.
So,
So there's
um,
a chance I might not be able to pull you.
maybe, but like, I don't know. I
Well, all right.
yeah. This is a dude that who's the gaffer for the music video that I did prior.
Okay.
And he said that he might have some sort of project in February, but I think even though I wouldn't be paid. I would be more interested in being a DP than being like a grip on something for like a couple of days, where I'd get paid maybe like a couple $100. Like I would rather be a DP because this would like push me. But this was like something that he mentioned at a party, so like who the
Word.
fuck knows? Yeah.
Um, well, yeah. Um, we'll see about all that. The other big thing was that Michael said he might be on a project that might run into February. And so
Hmm.
he'll probably have an answer about that within the next month. And if he says he's on that project and can't work, then officially, if you're good to go, you're attached and rock and roll.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's kind of everything that's going on. Um, are you still amped?
Yeah, yeah, actually. So this is one of the things that I was gonna tell you. So I bought lights. I imagine you saw my Instagram story, but I got
I don't check
um
Instagram stories. I'm
oh,
sorry. I'm
beautiful.
really
This is
bad
gonna be
about
such an
that.
amazing surprise for you. So
Yeah.
I just bought a couple of RE tungsten lights.
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
got three 650s Fresnels and a 1K flood spot thing,
Oh,
and
wow.
I got a softbox as well. So all in all, this is like putting out like pushing like 350 watts of tungsten light, which is pretty decent. Um, and I was looking at all of these are going to be Facebook Marketplace finds, by the way.
Yeah.
Uh, I was looking at like the price of what these lights might be, new,
Yeah.
and after I bought the kit, and the kit that I have doesn't really actually exist. It's like an amalgamation of different RE lights, and there's like stands
Okay.
in there and dimmers and like all the shit. And I got like I got like muslin and burlap and like all sorts of things and like diffusion one. Anyway,
Yeah.
I need a ton of CTB, but this kit is like maybe like 4 or 5 grand.
Holy shit.
I got it for $400.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah,
That's absolutely fucking crazy.
yeah.
Are they hard lights?
Hmm.
Dude,
Yeah, it's like hot tungsten lights. They all came in a Pelican case with like all of their accessories, all the screens,
that's
everything.
so sick, dude.
Yeah, so
That's
then I got two
awesome.
tube lights. I'm thinking about getting some paper lanterns as well, so then I can do I can cut one in half and sort of have like a pizza box on the back half, and you can sort of attach that to the ceiling and like other paper lanterns that you can do other things with. And but I'd probably need some bulbs for that.
Dude, that
Um,
sounds absolutely awesome.
yeah, but basically, um, I'm looking pretty good on the lighting kit. Obviously, I need like things like C stands and sandbags, but like a lot of times I would just fucking rent those because who wants to have those in their house?
Right.
Um, and just this Monday, me and Nicholas um drove down to DC and I picked up a whole AC kit and a whole matte box with all the filters. Um,
Wow. What all's in the
and
AC kit?
So I got the small HD 703 ultra bright with like it's like all rigged out. Like this was someone's like kit and it's all in a Pelican with all the accessories all organized, everything's labeled. Like this is like you literally take it out, you connect it all and it all works and it's all set up. So I just
That's
bought a fucking AC kit. So
fucking crazy,
uh
dude.
I got the Tilda Max Nucleus M uh
Okay.
with two motors. I got the grips that have the focus and zoom control. I got two of those. I have two wireless transmitters, like one transmitter
That's
and two receivers.
those
um
things are just the nicest stuff
right,
right
right.
there.
And this is it's called a Paralinx Ace, and apparently
Okay.
fucking who's the Teradek? Apparently this is the brand that Teradek bought out because they like Teradek is shitty and they're like, oh, but you're good. And then they like bought these people out to then make their things good. But I have the originals, and apparently these are like actually zero latency and they're like pretty good. So that rocks. That's awesome. So I got all of that shit, and then I got a matte box with a ton of 4x5 filters. So I got all the NDs. I got an eighth and a quarter Pro Mist, and it's like basically all of this stuff is
You
like
have so much stuff, dude.
I don't have enough. I'm looking to buy more.
Dude,
Um,
this is what the movie's about right here.
yeah, but this is film. This is
Yeah,
film
yeah,
gear,
yeah.
but
Film
yeah,
gear,
yeah,
not
yeah.
music gear. So you're
But
cool.
it's the same thing. Although this is probably more expensive.
Any water?
Um, but Yeah, I just got all of this gear. I'm excited to start using it. I'm gonna try and get more. Um, and now that I have gear, I feel like more of a more of a real film person.
Dude, hell yeah. Are you still
So it's
feeling the
self-validating.
whole is that kind of helping with the whole rat race thing you were talking about? And if you don't want to get into
Um,
that on the podcast, that's also okay.
no. It's good. That's sort of the whole point of this thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's more of that like I feel like most other industries aren't necessarily like this.
probably
Especially
true.
like some freelancing. Maybe it's different for freelancing, but like you will get hired on jobs based on the kit that you have. You know, if
That
you
makes sense.
if you go up to somebody and you're like let's say this, and I was like, hey, I'm a DP, but I have nothing. I don't have a camera. I don't have lights. I don't have any of this shit. And that, but and like, granted, that's a fixable problem. You could rent it, whatever. But like a fairly valid question would be like, oh, so you're a DP, but then like, how do you DP on things if you don't like have all of this gear? Like, how do
Right.
you actually physically do that? Right. So there's like a little bit of trust there, and then you have to rent the person. Well, you have to rent the person gear.
Yeah.
So granted, now I can just be like, yeah, I can AC things, and then I can just show up with my fucking Pelican of AC gear and just be like, yeah, here's these motors, here's these things, here's all of this shit, and yeah, I'm gonna focus pull your shit, and then I can charge a kit fee, and then people will like look at me as like I'm a real boy. Uh,
I
so
mean,
yeah,
you're so right because I mean, even on this project, I was like, before I was even starting, I was like, well, I've heard about a couple of people, in Austin that have these, fancy kits. What if do you think they would, if I really got them amped about the project, then now I can save all that money
right,
on, all the expensive gear and maybe I just need to pay this person a little bit more, but that'll
right.
way outweigh the cost of all the rentals and all that.
Right, right,
Um,
exactly. So like small indies, which is where we're both at. I mean, this is sort
right.
of what we're doing right now. Invaluable, invaluable. Um, oh, another thing. I
Yeah.
got six fucking gold mount batteries. The Anton Bauer fancy ass shit
Oh,
gold
holy
mounts.
shit, Anton Bowers, like the
Yeah,
the
I got
big
six of
ones?
those. I got six of those
God
for
damn.
$50 each.
Do you have a camera?
I have an A7.
An A7? Okay, word.
Yeah, I have an
I
A7
think
IV. I've been thinking about like
is
uh
that my guy too? Yeah, or no, I have a 3, so you have a slightly nicer one.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe switching, like doing like a trade sort of, or like selling mine and getting an FX3. But there is a way. Oh, I have to get in. If I get another monitor, then I can record in ProRes, and then so it won't be shitty MP4s. But
Okay.
you know, it's not terrible. My first move, if we were to have budget, would to be get like an FX6 or something that is,
That's a Sony, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, word.
It's the step up. It's from the FX3, but it has SDI out. It has all of these things. Does S-Cinetone, gamma, and if you record separately on a different monitor, which if I buy a different monitor,
Mm-hmm.
then you can record RAW
Hell yeah.
up to 6K. So that might be useful. That might be a thing that could that we could do.
Now I'm so down
Or
to record raw. In fact, I think we probably should record raw.
well, if we record RAW and then you record on external monitors, and the storage for that can be kind of pricey. I think 1 terabyte SSD because it has to record onto SSDs, and the way that I was looking to like the monitor that I was looking to get, the SSDs are like 400 each. But
Oh,
like
holy crap.
we'll see what I can find on Facebook Marketplace and how many paychecks I can make between
I
now
mean,
and February.
also, can we not just use the CFast card?
You could. But I don't know. I'm not sure actually. I would have to look into it.
Okay, word. The only camera I've really worked with is the Komodo, the red one.
Yeah.
And I love the Komodo. But yeah, I'm also really down for pretty much any cine camera. I
Yeah.
think not to be the not gearhead guy, but like they're all fucking cameras.
No, 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 no. I'm on the same. If you ever talk to Nicholas again, this is a big soapbox box of mine and his. But we've sort of made friends with a lot of NYU kids, and
Yeah.
a lot of the NYU kids will be like, "Oh, if it's not shot on Alexa 35, it's not a movie." And I'm sorry, I went to a party. I hope they don't. I went to a party recently, and it was a short film shot on Alexa 35.
Yeah.
Uh, Short film was not great, honestly. Just like from like a writing and acting standpoint, and also just like
Yeah.
the lighting was garbage as
Uh-huh.
well. Like there was just some scenes that were just like black.
Right.
But they
But it was
hired like
shot on an
a
Alexa.
it was shot on an Alexa,
Oh my gosh.
and I'm gonna be real, the camera doesn't fucking matter. As
Yeah.
long as it's like past a certain point, it doesn't matter because they
Don't
recorded on an
most people
Alexa.
use the $2,000 mark? Any camera over $2,000 will get the job done for real.
Sure, yeah, sure.
I don't know. That's
Um,
what I've heard. I was wondering.
I've never heard that used as a mark, but like there is definitely like once you get to a certain bar, like they
Yeah.
can sort of all do a job good enough. Because then what matters past that, I think, is like everything else.
Hmm.
Like, are you good at lighting? Like, is there like subtle haze everywhere? Is
Yeah.
there, well, if that's the look you want to go for.
Right.
All the accessories, all the extra things. Once you get to a certain thing, like that's what matters. And
I'm personally a little partial to red just
sure.
because A, it's the one I've used before. B, the branding. I mean, the logo looks cool. I don't know. Everything I hear about red is like, oh, red, you know? And
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if the advertising is just completely rubbed off on me. And the only other thing is that I've heard that red kind of does a little bit of film emulation within their recording that makes it look a little bit more like it was shot on film. I don't know how true that is.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, if you want a certain look, you should just do that in post-processing.
Yeah.
You should do that as part of your LUT in all of your things because then you're just gonna have more control
Yeah.
like in post. So,
Hmm.
and even though it takes more effort and it takes more time and it's annoying, more control is generally better, obviously, if you know what you're doing.
Yeah. But no, to go back to, the my agreement of like I've shot things on, the Sony A7 and a Pocket Cine that look better than
Yeah.
the stuff I've shot on a Red. But then again,
No,
there's other things
absolutely.
I've shot on the Komodo that just like blow everything I've ever done out of the water, but it has
Right.
so much more to do with the production as a whole and less to
Yes.
do with, the
Yes.
camera.
Yeah. No. He had like a whole fucking premiere. He rented out like a whole warehouse in Greenpoint. And
Yeah.
I did the lights and honestly the lights looked pretty sick. Every room had like two different colors.
Uh-huh.
And it was like flooding the room. It looked pretty good. We didn't have a
Hmm.
smoke machine, which bothered me. Because we had like a whole band playing and everything, no smoke machine. Anyway, film garbage. Looks like it was shot on like a Canon from like 10 years ago.
Ah,
He played my music video after that, and it was like, oh, this looks good.
that's awesome to like
Yeah,
side by side those.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
All the music videos he played after were looked better and were more interesting.
Um,
But
you first.
no. I was just
That
gonna
was
shit
it.
on this dude more.
Just like, yo, let me get on the podcast just to shit on some unnamed guy who's uh
I hope he doesn't listen to this. I don't think he will, but I do want to work for him because his shit does have budget, which is
yeah.
crazy. Like the budget that he put on
I
that he
mean, he
put this
shot
on
on an
for.
Ari Alexa, dude. Of course he
Yeah,
has
yeah.
budget.
Yeah, his gaffer took a train down from Boston every day.
Oh, word. Wow. From
No,
Boston
it was
every day.
stupid. It was stupid. They also
That
only
does
lit
sound
the thing with
stupid.
Titan tubes, which I think might be why it looks bad.
That was the thing about, well, first off, I had a funny thing to say. The John
Yeah,
LaJoie bit, mo cameras don't shoot movies.
yeah,
Nuh-uh. I shoot
yeah.
movies
I
with
shoot movies. Yeah,
cameras.
with camera. No, it's true. It's true. It's very true. Camera doesn't fucking matter.
But yeah, it was like at SCAD. I was always a little bit pissed off. Not that it was super cool that they were doing this thing. Like, no offense, and there are tons of my friends who worked on these type of movies, and it's awesome that you did that. But
Yeah,
it was like, why would you fly your whole crew out somewhere else to make a senior thesis when you can shoot it right here and have so many things to your advantage? Like, what is so important about shooting this thing in Cancun that you're willing to raise all that money to like pay for flight tickets and all that? And I don't know, I'm sure that someone shot their movie in Cancun. I promise I'm not talking about you if you're listening to this podcast because I don't know of a movie that's shot in Cancun, at least off rip. But I am kind of talking about you because it's like, why would you fly everyone out to Cancun? Did you just
because the
want a vacation to
lure.
Cancun or
No, no,
like
no, no, no. Because I'm a big director, and my project is so big that it needs to be shot on location on this thing. And I go to NYU, and I have all these big dreams, and then they have no fucking clue what a shot schedule is, and
I
they're shooting nights during the day and days during the night. But it's
I
in Cancun.
doubt that you know what, benefit of the doubt if you're listening to this and you shot your film in Cancun or Belize or
Yeah,
any other
and you did
foreign
days for
country or
nights and
whatever,
night for
right?
days. Yeah.
Whatever you did, great. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that this is not what you're talking about, what we're talking about. You actually care about the film, you actually know what you're doing, and
I
there's
hope
a
it turned
legit
out
reason.
amazingly.
I
I
hope it
hope
turned out
it looks
amazing.
so good.
But yeah, the people who are like all fucking wheel and deal, this is the one reason why I'm worried about moving to LA is like I can't overhype myself like that. It's all self-deprecating with me. And
Nah,
when
nah.
people come up to me like, "Yeah, bro, I got like $1 billion for this crazy like short, it's gonna be crazy. It's going to Sundance, dude." Just instantly I'm like, "Oh my God."
What a
I
poser.
yeah.
They dick ride
Um
themselves. It's crazy.
and some of those posers are actually doing that shit, and maybe I should start listening to them. But it's also like,
Some of them are good, but if you have an ego, I think honestly, at some point in time, that thing is gonna catch up to you.
yeah, who knows?
Like,
Um,
know what you can do, know how to be good, but honestly, where we're at, anybody where we're at, unless you're getting like you have an agent and actual producers and actual people who want to work with you, uh, realize that you're actually like even if you're talented or skilled or whatever, uh, you're still figuring it out. You're still on your way up. You don't actually realistically know what you're doing all that well. Like, be humble a little.
yeah. But then again, it's like that balance of like the imposter syndrome versus the like you're overhyping yourself like type of balance. It's all who knows. But then again,
No,
who
you got to
knows?
be
Maybe the
you're saying,
people
yeah.
who overhype themselves are about to like get all the career opportunities instead of us
Well,
because they're willing to make themselves look like, Martin Scorsese in the flesh. Um,
I mean,
who
Scorsese's
knows?
last couple of films haven't been too good anyway, so I
Dude,
guess it
Killers of
follows
the
in.
Flower Moon rocked,
Oh no,
dude.
I guess that one did come out.
I wasn't
Didn't
all
he?
that into The Irishman just for the first like 2 hours, but the last
Nah,
30 minutes were fucking
but it's
sick.
slow and it's all like de-aged people.
Yeah. Anyway, it is a podcast. Not that it has that many listeners yet. Power positive thinking. Do you have
I put
anything you
some
want to
spicy takes
plug?
in here.
Um,
Oh, is this like the ending point?
I mean, it can be. We have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on this particular meeting, but we can always, restart the
Oh,
Zoom link.
was
But
there was
also,
there like was there like real film things that you wanted to talk about, or is this just like a checkup on like how we're doing?
I mean, this is a checkup. kind of
Okay.
thing and fill you in on where we're at
Okay.
with the crowdfunding and everything. Is there any
Gotcha.
real film? Did you want to talk about like the LUTs we want to use and shit?
No, that stuff doesn't matter until like 2 months from now.
Yeah. Was there anything
Um,
else real film shit that you wanted to talk about? We can totally start a new Zoom meeting and keep talking.
I do have some questions, but if
All right,
plug
let's
my shit.
let's
Okay.
end this and start a new one. We'll
Okay.
talk the questions and then we'll plug your shit.
Yeah. Three, two, one, cut.